Power to the people. What is power? To me, power is the dual capacity to, first of all, define connected reality, then to transform that reality. In the anatomy of power, in the global picture, there are three key elements of power. One is personality. Second is social organization. And the third is capital. Now, to have successful movements, we need to have people who have a personality that is in tune with the masses, that is able to express their needs and express their desires, and in a way speak for those who don't speak out, speak for those who don't speak up, as he or she understands it. Second, we need to have social organization. This means infrastructure in terms of an office, a website, telephone, and location so people can connect up with a given group or a given political party. And third, we think of capital. It's not just money, M-O-N-E-Y. I think capital can also take the form of those who are willing to use their time and energy, for the purposes of the group or the organization. So we need to look at what we can do to bring about that kind of power. Remembering this involves personality, social organization, and capital. Failure to do this basic community work led to the demise or the collapse or the dismantling of Black Panther Party, Occupy Wall Street, and other groups. It can be more. It is more complex and interconnected, because we got to realize that our enemies, and we do have enemies who are against the truth, enemies who are against the power of the people, enemies who are against us uniting together. We have serious enemies. In fact, we have the strongest enemies in human history working against us. Because they have the personality, they have the social organization, including control of the mass media, and they definitely have various forms of capital, especially finance capital. Then we have the people who buy into the whole fascist crap, you know, the whole fascist scheme of things. And those include those who support the so-called government, which I consider a rogue regime, those who have a personal stake at keeping this evil machine going, including the military and the police, and all the undercover spies and agent provocateurs that they have. You know, so the People's Liberation Movement has a lot working against it. And we can't be naive and pretend that that is not so. In terms of ourselves as, say, global citizens, because there's, you know, the liberation process is taking place all over the world. You know, it's at different stages in different countries, and within those countries, different regions of a given country. So it's not all uniform in lockstep. Even the ideal of movement is kind of old-fashioned. You know, we need to think in terms of a matrix, M-A-T-R-I-X, a matrix of various social forces that are waking up, that are connecting with each other, that are understanding that this is a global struggle, not just a local, regional struggle. And as we see that we are not alone, that there's many people who want to see radical transformation in the world, and as time goes by, we'll link up more and more with each other. You know, fascism hates the power of the internet. Fascism hates the power of YouTube, you know, social media, you know, Twitter, even Facebook, even though Facebook is a CIA front. So we need to use what we can in order to create a global consciousness of ourselves as global citizens. You know, that we are fighting a global struggle. You know, liberation is a global struggle. And there was so much going on, and in a way, there was so much not going on. You know, I consistently maintain that our enemies are not just, you know, the evil empire and the fascist forces of repression. Our enemies are also fear, F-E-A-R, ignorance, racism, nationalism, tribalism, negativism in general, and especially our own character defects. And many times these character defects pop up, when we get involved in social organizations, be they political party or a local community group, when people's inflated egos pop up. When instead of working together, people compete with each other. Because we've inherited a lot of the disease from our social environment. People wanting to compete with each other instead of working together. There's elements of classism, elements of sexism, and so many people do not even want to get involved in any kind of a social organization, and I understand that. I think I'm 61 Earth years, and I've been involved in numerous organizations over the years, and from Maya Mexican American Youth Association, in high school, to the United Farm Workers, Friends of the Farm Workers, around the high school years, the Brown Berets, and Sacramento Concilio here, because I'm in Sacramento, and that fell apart because of corruption. And I work with kind of a virtual party called Humane Liberation Party, and over the years, though, I've been involved in different groups and organizations. For example, a little work with the sanctuary movement in Arizona. So I see, how much ignorance and stupidity that takes place, on the local community level. When people have, say, a community meeting, and then one person got to ego trip and dominate it, instead of trying to have input from the whole group, instead of trying to reach a consensus, so that there's collective agreement on a plan of action. A plan of action involves what I call the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. And so I want to work with a local community activist here in Sacramento, yet I see that a lot of them do not even have any kind of vision, what they want to see in the future, let alone, not having a coherent ideology. I think we need to look at the validity of intercommunalism, beyond, old-fashioned socialism. Done a little research on 21st century socialism, which still has flaws in it. Look at Venezuela. So we need to comprehend that corporate capitalism is what is killing us. It's killing us. And it has taken over the government. And they use all the tools and techniques that they can in order to keep the people divided and confused, so that we don't band together as one and overthrow the evil empire. See, it's hard if you don't even believe that it's possible. You're already defeated. And as impossible as the ideal of global liberation might seem, I'd rather die fighting for global liberation than to lay down and die like a coward. Maybe what we need is just some damn courage. You know, the courage to speak out, speak up, stand up, take charge. You know, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. It's not brain science, but it is knowing yourself and knowing people, loving people, including loving yourself. Love is a great motivator. Thank you for your time and attention. And remember to contribute what ways that you can to help make this a better world for all of us and for our children. Nada más.